Hello everyone, this is Ryan Langston and this is my discussion post 4 of running the business. I wanted to present a slide on each of the aircraft I chose. The first aircraft I chose was the Pilatus PC-12 NGX, a new aircraft. Here is the specifications of the aircraft. I chose a used 2008 Pilatus PC-12/47 for my second aircraft, and I wanted to show it because it's the same capabilities as the newer version. It's just a lot cheaper. For my third aircraft, I wanted to incorporate a turbojet. This is a used 2006 Cessna Citation Encore, and I wanted to be able to show some comparison of a jet versus a turboprop and the use of those, and it says a used aircraft as well, which is still a lot cheaper than the newer ones. And finally, for my fourth aircraft, I chose a used 2002 Piaggio P180. It's the cheapest of the aircraft and has a lot of good capabilities with it. So it's a twin engine aircraft instead of a single engine aircraft with the turboprops. So I want to have this as for comparison as well. So here is the data from our decision-making team. The criteria we chose was purchase price, age of aircraft, value factor, cabin volume, wing loading, payload with maximum fuel, range with maximum payload, the direct operating cost per hour for a 300 nautical mile trip, and maintenance cost per hour. As you can see from our results, the purchase price and direct operating cost and maintenance cost per hour were the most important. And then being able to carry the maximum amount of payload with fuel and the range with maximum fuel and cabin volume are like are important, but just not as important. And then the age of the aircraft and the value factor, wing loading, were of less importance because as long as the aircraft is maintained airworthy state, it really shouldn't matter a lot about the age of the aircraft. And then the value factor, the company doesn't plan on selling the aircraft. So they're thinking of keeping this aircraft long term. So really resale is not that important. Okay, so here's an all-encompassing data table showing the 9 different areas in purchasing an aircraft, or the criteria used to help determine which aircraft to purchase. We can see that the Piaggio had the highest score of a 263, the 2008 Pilatus the second highest at 260, the new Pilatus at the third highest at 234, and then the Cessna Citation at 216. So the Piaggio wins in this scenario, but the Pilatus, the 260, I would choose that aircraft. We can see that the direct operating cost per hour was a major factor in deciding which aircraft is best for the company, and the maintenance cost per hour and the purchase price. So the direct operating cost had a better score, and the minimum cost, maintenance cost per hour, had a better score than the Piaggio. It's a little more expensive than the Piaggio, but overall the Pilatus PC-12 for the long run would be the better aircraft to choose. Okay, so finance and accounting is very important when owning an aircraft. According to our textbook of Sheehan Business and Corporate Aviation Management, written by Aaron Wilson, the successful use of an aircraft should follow a basic financial process, and it should cover the areas of planning, budgeting, recording, controlling, tracking, and justifying the aircraft. At Liberty Mining and Aggregate, the use of the aircraft should not outweigh the benefit of the aircraft. There was already money allocated in using the airlines, but the reason for purchasing an aircraft is to save time. So there was an allocated amount of money that was spent on using the airlines every year. So in purchasing an aircraft and using an aircraft, it shouldn't dramatically exceed the amount that was being spent on the airlines just to save time. So in the end, saving time and money would be very beneficial and economical to this company. Okay, so biblical integration into the PowerPoint. Proverbs 21:5, the King James Bible states, "The thoughts of the diligent tend only to plenteousness, but of everyone that is hasty, only to want." Many different aircraft in this scenario could have been purchased and met the needs of the company. In choosing the aircraft, I was purposely trying to choose aircraft that weren't as expensive as others, but would still meet the needs. The longest trip of a one-way trip is less than 700 miles, and the maximum amount of passengers at any given time is 4 passengers. And all the aircraft I chose are capable of being single pilot aircraft. Um, so all of those factors would help keep the cost of the aircraft down. Um, so if someone is wise with in making decisions like this and much thought and considering what aircraft to purchase, then that's more beneficial than hastily choosing an aircraft and then regretting having bought the aircraft because it's so expensive. And here are my references of the aircraft feasibility study Excel file, and then the different pictures I used of the different aircraft, and then the King James Bible, and then our textbook written by Aaron Wilson. Thank you for your time.